What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we are back with another Marvel Snap video. And this week in the Spotlight Caches, you will be able to get your hands on one of my personal favorite cards in the game, Kitty Pryde. So in this video, I want to go over the 5 top Kitty Pryde decks, but if you already have Kitty Pryde, then this will just be a good video where you can see some awesome decks using Kitty Pryde if you're a fan of the card, or you just want to utilize the card and you haven't been using it lately, all right? But anyways, before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name is Chris. I also go by Bootman. If you love Marvel Snap as much as I do, especially the competitive aspect, ranking up the ladder, playing in Conquest mode, you definitely want to subscribe, ring that notification bell. I do a ton of deck guide videos and all that kind of fun stuff. So make sure you subscribe, but follow me on Twitter too, @BootmanMSTZ, because I do monthly season pass giveaways. I give away 3 for free every single month, but you gotta be subscribed, gotta follow me on Twitter. Next month we have the Loki season. We got some sick cards coming, so you definitely wanna be part of that giveaway, all right? Let's jump into this. So, first up, Kitty Pryde. What is this card? So, this card, for those of you who don't know the backstory, this card came out and it like broke the game. It broke the game, and this is why a lot of you have it. It broke the game. They had to take the card out of the game. It took like a month or 2 for it to come back, and they had to like redesign how she works. Originally, you got to manually put her out and put her on the board. Now she bounces back every single turn. They recently nerfed Kitty Pryde as well. So she was a 1/0 who got +2 every time she came back to your hand. Now she's a 1/2 who gets a +1, all right? Great card, just awesome 1-drop. It's like one of the best 1-drops in the game, if not the best. If you're asking me, it's the best 1-drop in the game. So if you do not have this card, like get this card. Get this card. You'd be crazy not to get this card. Like get the card, okay? All right, so let's go over some decks. So first up, this is the #1 rated deck on Untapped. It is known as Silky Smooth, all right? So Lambie series, one of the top Marvel Snap players, he popularized this deck. This is a deck that Jeff Hoagland has been playing like variations of for a long time. He calls it his Little Moves deck. He does some different variations of it, all right? So this is one of the most recent ones where it is the top rated one on Untapped. This is for Conquest mode, by the way, these stats. So this is Untapped. So if you're wondering what deck tracker we all use, it's from untapped.gg. You can get a deck tracker for free through Untapped. It keeps your stats. You can see what cards you've been playing, what cards they're playing, what cards get destroyed, discarded, whatever. So use my affiliate link down in the description below. It's 100% free to use a deck tracker, and $1 comes back to help support the channel. So if you want to support the channel for free, use my link, all right? But also, they do have the premium service where you get stats and everything like that. I'm not sure how much that is. It's a paid service, but it's pretty inexpensive. But anyways, so this is the Silky Smooth deck. I'm gonna give you my hot take real quick. A lot of people say how difficult this deck is to play. It's not. It's not. Like, it cracks me up. Like, this deck is not hard to play. That's one of the reasons it's so popular, all right? Like, you will see a pattern. The top played decks that are also like the best, they have so many stats for them because they're so easy to play. Anybody can play them, all right? Like, if you've ever played like the traditional move style decks, right? With like Iron Fist and Doctor Strange and Cloak and all that kind of stuff, those decks are complicated. Those decks are hard to play. This, you're basically just like throwing down like your small cost cards, like you're doing Kitty on Angela. So that's one thing that you're doing. You're buffing up Angela with your Kitty. Your Kitty's getting buffed too. You have Kraven, you're usually putting like Kraven in the middle. You have Silk, so Silk is just bouncing around, hopefully buffing your Kraven, and she's all over the place, so it's hard for your opponent to track where the power's gonna be. Spider-Man, even though he was nerfed recently, he is just an amazing card. I love his disruptive ability. He drags a card to another location with him. All right, then you have Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel, you have Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Legion, if you don't have Legion, Legion's replaceable in this. Legion is just like a generically good 5-cost card. He's a 5/8, him and Vision. So like Legion, like it's cool to like disrupt locations, but what makes Legion so good, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's nerfed, is just he can like, even if he doesn't switch up the locations and make duplicates of the locations, like he's just a 5/8 card. So even if you just play him out, he's not a dead card, you know what I mean? All right, but a lot of you don't have Jeff. So first off, Jeff is coming in the Spotlight Caches, I think in 2 weeks. So if you really, really want Jeff, go for it, all right? Jeff's just another movement-based card. This is the deck list with no Jeff. I put a note here, note the win rate. You don't need Jeff. Like, I'm just gonna beat into all of your heads. First off, if you're ever asking, like never in your life, never, just don't do it, all right? It's like not asking like someone you just met, like their age and their weight. Don't ask about Jeff. Don't ask what to replace Jeff. 99.9% of the time, the answer is Nightcrawler. And look at the win rates. Look at the win rates. Although the sample size is smaller, this with Nightcrawler actually has a higher win rate than with Jeff. Jeff is an amazing card. He's one of the best cards in the game, but he is easily replaceable. Toss in Nightcrawler. For the love of God, stop asking people. Drives everybody nuts. I understand, but like if you want to ask like what to replace Legion with, go for it. Well, we're here to answer that question all day. But Jeff, put in Nightcrawler, keep it moving, all right? So this is a top-rated deck. I like it. I haven't been playing it as much because I played it so much. I just got kind of bored with it, but it's still a very strong, powerful deck. There aren't really many counters to it, but keep an eye on it. It's possible this deck's gonna get nerfed pretty soon. I don't know how, but it's just been like very popular and very strong. All right, next up, I made a video on this deck the other day. Shuri, okay? So this is a deck that I made a video about a couple months ago. It was like semi-popular, but with the recent buffs of Forge and Hulkbuster, very good deck, very good deck. You can go watch my full video, but I'll just break it down real quick for you. All right, so ideally you're playing off curve with Kitty, okay? So you're going like, this is just what a perfect game looks like. You're Kitty on 1, Kitty on 2, or hopefully Kitty Iceman on 2, all right? On 3, Forge and Kitty, all right? On 4, you put Kitty in a lane by herself and you do Kitty Hulkbuster, all right? Then on 5, you're doing Shuri into Kitty, and then on 6, you're doing Kitty and Taskmaster, and you have 2 very large things. This deck is still catching people off guard, but you also have backup plans where you can like Shuri your Vision, you can Shuri your Captain Marvel, you know, because even if you Shuri your Vision, like turn 4 Shuri, turn 5 Vision, you have a 16 power Vision that you can move to other lanes, and then Taskmaster copies 16 power, all right? So pretty good. This has Polaris in it. I don't think this is the version I ran. I can't remember what, I definitely didn't have Polaris, but yeah, so this is a flex spot. I probably had Jeff, but you don't need Jeff. Use Polaris. I've run into a lot of people running Polaris, but this is a very, very strong deck with the recent buffs to Forge and Hulkbuster. Yeah, like if you get your reps in with this deck, you will win games. I've had people say, oh, it's hard against like Galactus and stuff like that. No, you just gotta be smart. You gotta know when to retreat, and you need to manage your priority. Like you wanna make sure you're ahead. So sometimes you gotta abandon like the big kitty thing and just make sure you're ahead on the lanes where they could possibly play Galactus. Armor is also a flex spot. Armor's just really good right now because a lot of people are running destroy decks, but you can swap this with like a tech card of your choosing. You can do like Cosmo, Shang-Chi, whatever, all right? Okay, so next up we have your classic Sarah Control. So Sarah Control, regardless of the meta, it is always one of the top decks, and Kitty Pryde just made it better, all right? Because Sarah is all about playing a lot of cards that are very low cost while also running tech cards as well. So it's a perfect spot for Kitty. It's one of the only viable decks with Hitmonkey right now, so feel free, go for it. There are like a million different versions of Sarah decks. This was just the top rated one that I grabbed from Untapped. All right, next up. So now we're getting into just decks that I like, okay? You're mainly gonna wanna play those other 3 archetypes I just showed you, but this deck right here, I made a video on this the other day. It didn't get that many views, but like, I love this deck so much. I just have fun with it. Like, I like decks that are fun. If you know me, I like decks that are fun and good, okay? This deck is not like top tier by any means, but I'd say it's at least like B tier, okay? Like it's decent, you will get some wins. It's just very fun. And basically you're hoping to bass like your Deadpool and your Kitty Pryde. And then you're going to buff up your Collector, okay? Collector, he gets points from Hood from Deadpool every time he goes back to your hand, from every time Kitty Pryde goes back to your hand. You also have Moon Girl. You'll just have crazy games because you have Forge here too, Forge and Bass, right? So like, you'll have crazy games where you just get like your Deadpool up to like 16 power and your Kitty up to like 6 or 8 power, and then you Moon Girl them, or you'll have like 2 demons too, and you're just like, you're just throwing stuff all out on the board. Very cool. X23 is cool in this list, but she is very, very, very replaceable. Like, you could swap her with like just about anything. Like, put in like Nova, put in another destroy card like Deathlock, something like that, all right? But this is just a really fun deck. If you wanna have a good time, play this deck, all right? Then lastly, I put Bounce, and I put a little sad emoji, all right? So, Bounce was just like the top deck forever, and I was hoping, like, I knew it was gonna get nerfed, and I'm like, okay, well, if they nerf it, just don't kill the deck. And like, the play rate on this deck is just totally down. Usually, usually I'll say like, when they nerf decks, a lot of people just completely abandon decks, even though they're still very good. Silver Surfer's one, Stature is another one, but like Bounce, I played quite a bit of it, and like, it was still decent. It was still decent. Again, I'd probably put it like B tier. It was by far my favorite deck. It was my favorite deck. It's a difficult deck to play. You have to get your reps in. And yeah, it's just tough now since they made the changes. Mainly, I think it's Hitmonkey. Like, it might be Hitmonkey because they raised Hitmonkey to a 3 cost, and it's just tough. It's just a tough deck to play now. So here I just tossed up a bunch of different variations. If you always want to play Bounce and you're finally getting Kitty, go for it. If you've been around and you like to play Bounce, you're probably like me and don't play it that much anymore. But I made a video right after they made the changes, and it still felt decent, so maybe I need to experiment with it a little bit more. But yeah, like, I love Bounce decks. I love Bounce decks. So if you want, feel free to try it, okay? But anyways, that's it. Those are the 5 decks that I have. If you have any other deck suggestions, if there's anything else you put Kitty in, basically, like, Kitty and Angela is just like amazing. Like, they're just besties, you know what I mean? So you could toss these 2 into a lot of decks. It's just, they're very good together when like your curve is weird and you just need to put some points on the board. Like, they're just great together. So if you have any deck suggestions, put them down in the comments below, or let me know which of these decks you plan on trying out, all right? But yeah, this is a new thing I'm gonna experiment with. I'm gonna do it for the next week or 2. If you guys like it, I'll keep doing it with the spotlight cards that are coming up. But if not, we'll scrap it. So leave a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. That lets me know to keep making videos like this. All right, but that's all I got for this video. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed, ring that notification bell, follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ if you want to be part of our monthly season pass giveaways. And down in the description below, we also have an awesome Discord community. Feel free to join. We have a bunch of people in there sharing different decks, all sorts of cool stuff. All right, but that's all I got. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.